morning, everyone. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. My name is Raquel, and I'm an events officer with Volunteer Now. And we're here this morning to tell you why volunteering is good for your health and to maybe help you consider volunteering if you don't do that already, or look at other opportunities in your local area. So I'm joined this morning by Adele, which is volunteering support officer for Newry Morning Down. And then we're going to have a little bit of a chat with Laura and Norman. They're going to tell us a bit more about their charities, which is Rosies Stress and the Deaf Blind Association, and they can tell you how you can get involved with their work. So Adele, if you want to have a start and let us know about volunteering in the area.
Yes. So we're going to do a bit of talking now today about volunteering, how it is good for your health. So welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us today. So a bit about Volunteer Now is a regional to local organisation that aims to promote, enhance and support volunteering across Northern Ireland by engaging in promotional campaigns to increase awareness of volunteering, supporting volunteers to find volunteering opportunities, provide training and information to organisations who help them develop good practice involving volunteers. Why are we here? To encourage you to think about volunteering as a way of improving your health. And what do we hope to achieve from today? We're going to explore the health and wellbeing benefits of volunteering, learn about the range of volunteering opportunities in the Newry Morning Down area from Rosies Trust and Deaf Blind as well. And we're hopefully will provide a list of current opportunities in the Newry Morning Down area. So Volunteer Now has carried out some research with people in Northern Ireland over people aged 50 plus, and has found that 75% of respondents described their life as either very active or quite active. Volunteers were more likely to say that they were active than non-volunteers. The majority of respondents stated that getting involved in volunteering had increased their social interaction with people from different age groups, 69%, encouraging more intergenerational contact through volunteering. So these are some volunteer quotes that are on Volunteer Now website on our stories, so you can read further stories regarding these quotes. So these four I thought were really, really lovely because they were from people 50 plus age. So this being the month for the over 55s, you know, so this is really, really good. I feel my volunteering is definitely a conduit for my current positive state of mind. The next one, you definitely get far more back than you ever put in. It keeps me feeling young, gets me out of the house and adds purpose to my life. The third one, loves being involved with people, helping them to achieve their full potential and seeing the impact that her volunteering has on the local community. And the fourth one, the social aspect is great, and I find that my volunteering is a great stress reliever. So there's many benefits there from volunteering, and that's really right across the board of all ages. So this was a wee interaction we were going to do as well. Have you ever volunteered before? What volunteering do you think you would enjoy? The benefits of volunteering. And this is the definition of volunteering. So volunteering is a commitment of time and energy for the benefit of society and the community, the environment or individuals outside or in addition to one's immediate family. It is unpaid and undertaken freely and by choice. So who volunteers? 27% of adults in NI indicated that they had volunteered in the previous 12 months, and that's 250,000 people. Is actually staggering whenever you get this a big number. So it is, everybody can. So what do volunteers do? So 35% volunteer in church or religious organisations, community events 32%, fundraising 40%, working with young people 28% of the population said, and committees 28%. And there's lots more activities, and we're going to talk through some roles that are available in your Morning Down area today. So reasons for getting involved. Improve things to help people. Yeah, causes that were really important to yourself. I think we all know that through life we will gain help from organisations, and that's where we feel like we want to give back to some organisations. Free time is always, you know, spare time is a big reason for people. A need in your community, when you can see there's a need in your own local community, that's another reason to volunteer. So religious belief or philosophy of life to help people. Chance to use my existing skills and learn new skills. Friends and family did it, so we can sometimes be influenced by seeing the good that other people do, and we want to do that as well. Meeting people and making friends, so volunteering is really good for that. Connected with the needs of my family and friends. No one else to do it, so sometimes we feel like if no one else is going to do this and it's something really important that you would like to do in your community, that's a real push sometimes for people to volunteer as well. It give me a chance to learn new skills, help me get on in my career. So we all can learn skills that are then applicable to CVs and transferable. social or political principles, chance to get recognised and qualification, to structure my day, and had received voluntary help before. And give back. So benefits, satisfaction with results, personal enjoyment, meeting people, using skills and your own knowledge to give to others, broaden experience, learn new skills, maintains health and keeps active. So this is the take 5, and obviously the give there will be surrounding a lot about volunteering. So it is, what volunteering can I do in my local area? So this is probably a part where we would then hope that people will think about what volunteering they can do in their local area. And we're going to go through now some of those opportunities, and there it is, give it a go, see how it goes. Thank you.
Thanks, Edel. So that's just a flavour of why volunteering is good for you. There's some research to back it up, but I think we all know that, you know, we feel good when we do good. And yeah, and it also when we're connected. So the volunteering is one of your 5 a day because it helps you with all those things, learn new things, connect, keeping active. So it does enhance your quality of life as well as the others that you're helping. So what I'm just going to talk you through a few opportunities in the local area, just to give you that flavor of how much variety there is. And if you think, oh, maybe is nothing there for me, or, oh, I'm really into photography, what could I do? I'm really into something more strange, wood turning, not the, you know, something a bit more unique. You can apply those skills in almost every setting, and there's definitely a charity or a project that could utilize those. So in the Newry-Morn area, for example, we have Clanrai Group, which is a charity that works to support people with a disability, either acquired or from birth, and to maybe enhance their employability skills and get them back into employment. So you can volunteer with them as a shopping buddy volunteer. So they offer one-to-one support as well to clients. So that's going out and helping someone do their shopping. So enabling them to have that confidence, regaining that confidence, and then eventually doing them by themselves. So it can be quite enjoyable and quite sociable, and can still be maintained in these social distancing times, of course. Then Hourglass is a charity that advocates on behalf of older people. So they're looking for helpline volunteers. So you would take calls with queries and then follow those up with the charity. They'll obviously do the back leg work, but you'd be the first point of contact. So that can be done from home if you're shielding or you're not as comfortable going out and about. That is definitely something that you can continue doing, and it'll still give you that sense of connection and meeting new people through the phone calls. The Cabbage Patchers are a charity based in Mourne. They're a community garden project, and they just got a new plot, and they're just rebuilding it and painting it, and very much they're looking for community garden volunteers at the moment. And then Cúnmara is a charity based in Newry on the Dublin Road, and they help people with addictions, and they're looking for someone who likes doing pottery and who can do pottery and teach others. So pottery volunteers. So if that's something that you might be able to do, get in touch. Then we have Habitat for Humanity. They have a restore shop in Newry as well, and they're looking for volunteers to assist with sales there and meet and greet customers and help with the stock. So that's quite, it's a huge shop, it's beautiful, has lots of interesting features to it. So it is quite a sociable opportunity as well. Also, you can be behind, you know, in the storeroom if you're not wanting to see people all the time. So there's an opportunity for both. And then the Royal National Institute for the Blind, RNIB, are also looking for technology volunteers. So you don't have to be IT savvy, but you have to obviously know how to use basic kind of functions on a computer, on a tablet and a phone, and then help people at home that are maybe blind or partially sighted on how to access those services. So that's kind of the run through of a few opportunities, and most of these are regional, but some are just specific to Newry, Mourne and Down, so it could be anywhere in that council area. So if I welcome Laura, oh sorry, not Laura, we'll go with Norman first. If I welcome Norman from Deafblind Association to tell us a wee bit more about the charity, what they do, and also to tell us about what volunteering opportunities you have available at the moment. Thank you. Oh, you're muted, Norman, just, or maybe I can unmute you. Hold on, I'll ask you to unmute. There we go.
Is that better?
Yes, excellent. We can hear you now.
Apologies. Thanks, Raquel. My name's Norman. I work for an organisation called Deafblind UK, but it's known in Northern Ireland as Deafblind NI, and in Wales it's Deafblind Cymru, and in England it's Deafblind UK. But in Northern Ireland it's Deafblind NI. There are about 11,000 people in Northern Ireland who have a dual sensory loss. So they have an element of sight loss and an element of hearing loss, which you can imagine when you layer in sight loss and then on top of that hearing loss, you know, it's very debilitating, and it can make people really suffer in terms of their self-confidence and make them feel very isolated. So we work with, we have about 400 members currently in Northern Ireland, and those are people who would say that because of their sight and hearing loss, they can't get about the way they used to, they can't communicate with other people the way they used to, and they can't access information the way they used to. So we have a range of services in Northern Ireland that we provide for our members free of charge, and we do need volunteers to help us to provide those services and to support the members. For example, we have telephone and email befriending. We do birthday calls to people, to members. We have a, what's it called? A virtual telephone group that we're running. We used to have actual support groups, but because of COVID, we're not running those at the minute, and we're not going to be running those in the foreseeable future. So we've actually started up a virtual telephone group call, and there's a lot of people taking part in those, and they're becoming very popular. So we need, we're maybe going to set up like a network of smaller groups, and we're going to need volunteers to sort of step in to coordinate and facilitate those. The other thing we do is we provide remote wellbeing calls to people on a weekly, monthly, and 3-monthly basis, depending on what the person wants. So we need volunteers to actually do those calls for us. We got a lot of people coming forward at the start of the pandemic, basically saying, look, what can we do to help? So we got a lot of telephone befrienders, and a big percentage of those people, believe it or believe it not, are from the Newry and Mourne and Down area. Without us actually physically targeting that area, they came forward and are doing a great job with us now. They either do wellbeing calls to a group of people that they're given, so they don't form any sort of long-lasting relationship with those people. So it's a 5, 10, 15-minute call just to a member, and that member could be in Northern Ireland, Wales, or England. And we have telephone or email befriending volunteers, and they do form a relationship with an individual. So they will ring that individual on a weekly basis, once or twice a week, for half an hour to an hour, and they, you know, you can't help but get to know the people, and they get to know you, because you'll tell each other about, you know, your kids, what your kids are getting up to, and your car broke down, and it just you get immersed in their world, and they tell you about what they're doing and what their neighbours are doing, and their son's around to visit them and so on. So there's 2 distinct groups there. One is a volunteer who will make a number of short, sharp phone calls to people, wellbeing calls, and then the next week they'll get a completely new set of people. And then there's the telephone email befriender who will specifically make calls to a known individual each week. So those would be the 3 volunteering requirements that we have presently. So it's the virtual telephone group volunteer, the remote wellbeing caller volunteer, and the telephone or email befriender. So those would be the 3 opportunities that we would have at present for volunteers. Thank you.
That's brilliant, Norman. They're really interesting, and I'm fascinated that you could be talking to someone in Wales. I think that's quite exciting. It offers a bit of variety to your day as well. So,
and the one thing people from Wales and England will always say to you is, "Oh, I just love your accent." You know, it really,
wow.
You know, it gets them all the time. It really does.
Very good. Yeah, I can see that. I can relate to that. I love the Scottish accent as well. I think it's very mellow and lovely and musical. Thank you very much, Norman. Edel, could I ask you just to change to the next slide so we have the Volunteer Now contact details, just in case people want to get in touch? I think it was your last slide, if that's all right. You try working away, but at that there's no hurry. It was just to show like the website and things like that. And then if we now introduce Laura, she's going to tell us a bit about Rosies Trust and what you can do with them. And again, quite interesting opportunities and a little bit different. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. We are relatively new in the Newry area. But basically, Rosies Stress has been around for about 5 years. It started in Bangor by a lady, Brona O'Neill, who was befriending a terminally ill man, and it became really apparent that his a lot of his stress and his worry was coming from the lack of care his pet Finn was receiving. This spurred Brona. Brona helped him, and then it spurred her to kind of ask around AGNI, Marie Curie, places like that, if there was a need for a service that could help people look after their pets in times of illness, things like that. And it came back a resounding yes, that this was an ongoing issue. That many people didn't have family to step in and support, etc. And so out of that, Rosies Trust was born. What we do is our overall mission is to keep people and pets together. We do this, we were able to help 3 groups of people who are terminally ill, people who are undergoing cancer treatment, and those who are older with a disability or mobility issue. How we help is that we have this army of amazing volunteers who we put into teams, and they visit the pet and the human beneficiaries as often as needed. You know, we have every beneficiary's needs will be different, but they'll do the practical aspects of pet care. So whether that's play, walking, maybe taking a dog to the vet, there's an inordinate amount of poo lifting, as you can imagine. We also, it's not just dogs, with cats, we also look after cats, tend to be more independent and maybe a little bit less needy, but you know, it's about the bond, it's about that relationship that somebody has with their animal, and preserving that and maintaining it and protecting it. You know, we always knew the service was very valid, but it became incredibly so over lockdown. You know, many of our beneficiaries maybe didn't have any other contact, so that head on their lap in the evening was absolutely priceless. So we, in terms of volunteer roles, we have, millions might be slightly an exaggeration, but we look, you know, we need everything from, we call canine support, and that's where we go in and we help our canine beneficiaries. And again, it's about enrichment. You know, it's so much more than just taking a dog for a walk. It's, you know, we do extensive training on how we communicate with the animals. We are there to improve their life, improve that relationship, and as I say, to maintain it and protect it. We also have feline support, which again is, you know, cats are so much more independent. There's so much kind of less, they ask less of us as humans. So it's a very kind of, it's much more of a physical role. It'll be making sure feeding happens. It will be cleaning out litter trays, things like that. We also offer fostering to our existing beneficiaries. So the start of lockdown COVID, we put out a call for, you know, worried that we might need extra fosters, and the response has been amazing. It's such a wonderful service to offer, you know, whether it's a hospital stay or hospice, to know that, you know, your dog or your cat are safe and protected, and it's a massive pressure off people's minds. A really big kind of need that we have too, particularly in the Newry area where we're so new, is ambassadors. You know, what we would love is people to help us get to know Newry, and people who can introduce us to people who may benefit from our service or would like to be involved in it in some way. You know, whether it's social workers, community organisations, people that can help us integrate in. You know, we can only imagine how many people there are in the Newry Moordown area who could really benefit from a little bit of support. In many different forms. Sometimes we do telephone support with people so that they can build the relationship with their pet. We offer so much that, but it's building that awareness. It's, you know, talking about this, it's people knowing that we are there as an option. We also, excuse me, We do everything then from administration volunteers. We look for phone support volunteers. We have one main Rosies Trust phone, and we have this group of lovely volunteers who help us with that, so that we can spread it over a large group of people. We do volunteer coordinators who help us. We do maybe over 100 visits a week, so our volunteer coordinators will help us create rotas and maintain kind of the visit schedules, which is just a crucial part of what we do. We have, as I say, we have our administration roles, trustee. If any skill you have, I'm pretty sure that we can adapt that, and we could utilize it and be eternally grateful for it. So as I say, in your area at the minute, we are trying to kind of boost our presence, let people know we're there, to let people know we're an option. So look, always looking for canine support. That's one of our big ones. But also, if somebody who could use our service, or somebody maybe who works in a vet that could spread the word for us, things like that would be really useful. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope it made sense.
Absolutely, Laura, thank you. Could I just ask, if you have pets, can you foster? And also, if you don't have any pets, is it okay to offer the canine support, or is that a requirement that you need to have?
Oh, no, not at all. We offer extensive training, particularly for our canine support role. And training in terms of the practical side of it, but also training in terms of communicating with the animal. A big focus of what we do is the pack dynamic for this dog will have changed. What we want to do is we want our volunteers to be able to go in there and reduce the stress in the situation, and really give that dog the ability to relax and really enjoy its time off. So no experience necessary. And I suppose what's really important to us is that you get some joy out of your volunteering. So and I think if you have that kind of love for pets, this is a really good route to go down. You can foster if you have your own pets. It would be dependent on successful meetups, etc.
Yeah,
It certainly doesn't rule anything out.
Okay, thank you. That's brilliant. So thank you everybody for joining us this morning. I think it was a good overall picture of what types of things you can get involved. And as Laura and Norman said, if you have a particular set of skills, sometimes, if you have a cause that you believe in, but they're not offering that particular role, it is worth having that conversation, because a lot of charities have lots of other type of work that are happening in the background that they don't necessarily share or think they can involve volunteers as well. But it works both ways. It's a mutual benefit relationship, so it should be something you get something out of, whilst you're giving as well of your time and your skills and your enthusiasm. So do get in touch with ourselves, with Norman, with Laura, with whatever cause you're into. Obviously, Volunteer Now is a one-stop shop for volunteering, so you can just go on the website and search for opportunities based on what you're interested in, or just based on your postcode. And you can also volunteer as a family, you can volunteer as a group. There are obviously restrictions now in place with COVID, but a lot of charities have adapted their services and have adapted the way they involve people. And if and as and when required, you will be provided with PPE requirement, you'll be provided with the right insurance to cover your role, and with the right level of training to equip you to do that activity. So don't worry, talk those things through with us or the charity, and do ask questions before you commit your time and your energy. But there's lots of opportunities there, and it should work with whatever you're doing at the moment. So thank you, everyone. It was lovely to see you this morning, and wishing you everybody a good Monday and a good week ahead. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.